I want to share a story about one of the worst days of my life and what caused it. This was back when I was in senior high school, but the memory is still very vivid in my mind. Back then, I was a novice when it came to relationships and I had never suffered a heartbreak before. I met my very first girlfriend in my first year in senior high school. I attended an all-boys school, but we often visited entertainment programs at other girls and mixed schools, and there were inter-schools competitions as well. At one of these events, I met a girl and we became friends. Phones were not allowed on campus, but my school father and other seniors had them, and I would often borrow their phones to call her. We spoke on the phone often and fell in love. I know we were young at the time, but we were so in love, and I don't think I have ever fallen in love that hard again ever since. My school father and other friends told me to be careful with her and not be too emotional, but I didn't listen. It seemed like most of the guys had gotten their hearts broken before and were very cautious when it comes to relationships. I didn't listen to the advice though, because I was certain our relationship was different from theirs. Almost everyone in my class and dormitory knew who my girlfriend was because I was always talking about her. My mates even called me by her name at times to tease me. The first sign of trouble was when she and I were speaking on the phone and she started asking me about stuff that had happened on our campus. These were things that I hadn't mentioned to her, which means that she must have heard it from somewhere else. I got to realize that she was in constant communication with other guys in the same school as me. This got me a bit worried, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want it to seem like a jealous boyfriend. Keep in mind that throughout this whole time, I was sending her money, provisions and airtime regularly for her upkeep on campus. I didn't have any source of income back then, but my parents were taking very good care of me and I extended that to her. My fear, however, came to pass when one Saturday a friend came to inform me that he had seen my girlfriend in the visitors area. I thought he must be mistaken as we hadn't planned for a visit or anything like that. However, as I got there, I realized that it was indeed her. She was very surprised to see me and also nervous. Her face looked like someone had just caught her committing a crime. She told me that she was here to see a friend and that I should leave. I asked her which friend and she refused to elaborate. My heart was very heavy. Even if she was genuinely here to just see a friend, why am I now finding out? The fact that she hid it alone is a bad sign. Finally, I got to see who her friend was. It was one of my seniors, a really good looking guy. Because I was a shy type who doesn't like confrontations, I just walked away and went back to my hostel. That evening, I called her like 5 times and there was no response. When she finally picked, she decided it was time for me to know the truth. She said the guy she had come to visit is her boyfriend and they have been dating for some time now. I asked her, what about me? And she said she saw me more as a close friend. She just didn't want to say anything because of how I might take it. That night, I couldn't eat. I just laid down in my bed, crying and hid my face so no one could see my tears. Around midnight, my body became hot and I developed a temperature. I was sweating so much that I left the bed to sleep on the floor. The next day was no better. I was down throughout the whole day and didn't even pay attention to anything that was taught in class. That night, I wasn't any better. For some reason, the broken heart got worse in the evenings. I think it's because during the day I can be distracted by other things, but at night, I am just alone with my thoughts. My crying got louder that night and my school father came to see what was wrong with me. I told him I had a fever, but when he asked why I was crying, I couldn't give an answer. He probed me till I opened up and started explaining everything to him. The more I narrated the story, the more emotional I got and more tears came until I ran out of the dormitory towards the corridor. Our dormitory is located on the 3rd floor of our block and my intention was to jump from the 3rd floor and end it all. If it wasn't for my school father who ran to catch me, I wonder what would have happened. The next day, he arranged for me to be sent home to clear my mind and we gave the excuse that I was down with a sickness. I got over her later on and even laugh whenever I remember that experience. Nowadays, when I hear people talk about broken hearts, I just smile and move on because what I have been through, few people have experienced. This is not a confession per se, just an interesting story from my past and I wanted to share. Thanks for your time.